morning for sports updates coming to you from your number one business radio, Brussels Radio. It is still your host, Easy as always. All right, this morning in the world of sports, in the local scene, a disappointing one for Rivers Angels of Nigeria. Yes, losing their second group game in the maiden edition of the CAF Women's Champions League. And despite those of Nigeria, they are very much set. They are preparing for their group qualifiers for the 2022 World Cup that will be coming up very soon. Yes, they are very much set to take the Leon Stars of Liberia there in Morocco. The camp is bustling, and I have a lot of information coming from the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And away from that story, talking about athletics, remember some time ago I mentioned the Nuga Games that has been confirmed to hold by next year. Yes, I'll be giving you update with regards to that. And in the foreign scene, we'll start with the world of tennis, where Emma Raducanu is in the news this morning, and Marcus Rashford in the world of football. Definitely we'll talk about that one, a good one for Marcus Rashford. And we'll look at the gossip side of football, the transfer rumors, and see what we can make out of it this morning. All right, but before we go straight to those informations, quickly, if you're watching me live, remember you can join the conversation via the Facebook page there at Brussels Radio NG. Drop your comments in the comment section there, and I'll be reading them out. And on YouTube, we are there at Brussels Radio NG. Remember, WhatsApp number remains 08097910074, and our website is www.brusselsradio.com. Remember, you can also sponsor any of our shows. You can place your advert here. The number to call is 08097910073 or 08034361400. Yes, or you can send a mail to hello@brusselsradio.com, and our office is located at 5860 Broad Street here in Lagos Island. Good morning to you once again. All right, let's start the discussion this morning with that disappointing one there in Egypt for the Rivers Angels of Nigeria. Remember, they are the only Nigerian representative in the maiden edition of the CAF Women's Champions League. Remember, the first game in that group, in their group, they lost against Asfar 3-0. And then yesterday, a disappointing one for them as well, as they lost the chance of making it into the semi-finals of the inaugural Women's Champions League after a second consecutive loss. Actually, a controversial goal in the 17th minute of the match from Mamelodi Sundowns captain Zanele Nfola, who was all that was needed to send Nigeria's representative Rivers Angels crashing out from that competition. A disappointing one for them. First, let's start with that 17th minute goal. I took my time to look at that goal again, and I think it was, I would say it was a shame to award that as a goal. Yes, I understand the fact that that game was without a VAR or a goal line technology, but even without those technologies in place, I think the coach and the assistant, the referee and the assistant referee should have done more with regards to that goal. He actually hit the bar, came back to the goalkeeper, who got grabs of the ball, and he didn't cross the line. It was obvious, it was clear to the blind, it was visible to the blind. Yes. For me, that wasn't a goal. It wasn't a goal. I remember, I think CAF President Musebe was also around to watch that game. I think it was a disappointing one for us, and I think not just for us, for Africa as well. That kind of officiating, it was a very poor one yesterday. I think for me personally, it was a very poor one. I looked at that goal. It didn't even cross that line yesterday. And away from that, but that doesn't take the fact that we also need to blame Rivers Angels. I think a disappointing outing for them yesterday, losing the first game 3-0, and coming into the second game losing by 1-0. I think a disappointing one for them. I expected more from them. Mamelodi Sundowns, if you look at our league, our women's league, and theirs, I think theirs is not. Is it up to 7 years, 6 years or 7 years there? And look at our Nigerian Women's League. He has been there, and I expected much from them. Coming into that competition, I think there were a lot of expectations for Rivers Angels. Remember, they won our league. A lot of expectations coming from Nigeria and in Africa, and then they're going there, and it was a very sad one for me, a very sad one. And I think too, the organizers of the Nigerian Women Premier League, I think they also need to do more. Our team here, looking at the women's side, you know, when they go to Africa, they seem not to replicate what they are doing there over there. Look at the Super Falcons of Nigeria. At least for years, they have been king of Africa and women football in Africa. And I expected, you know, Rivers Angels to do that, but disappointing one for them there. And I think maybe coming back from that competition, they will need to go back to the drawing board. All right. After that game, the head coach of that team, Edwin Okon, blamed Wefu finishing for his team's 1-0 defeat to South African Giants Mamelodi Sundowns inside the El Salami Stadium in Cairo, Egypt yesterday. Remember the first one, he mentioned logistics, considering the fact that the team came to that competition a day to the start of the competition. That was the excuse for that 3-0 loss against Asfa in the first game. But in the second one, now he is talking about wasteful finishing. Yes, there will definitely be excuse, but I think you also need to, accept defeat now, accept the blame that, it wasn't a good outing for your team. Technically, I think the team didn't do well. The second game yesterday, I think somehow, yes, they were unfortunate. But the first game, you need to see the way these girls were. They were flogged actually. But that is the game of football for you. Sometimes you lose and sometimes you win. All right. Away from that, let's go straight to the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria as they prepare for their second to the last group game qualifiers for the 2022 World Cup. That will be held in Qatar, yes, next year. Yes, the camp is a very busy one. Actually, as it stands now, they are 22. I know so many persons are aware that they are 21, but they are 22 actually. Information coming just a few minutes ago proves that they are 22 players in the camp already. I'll be giving you a rundown of all the players who are in camp already. One just arrived a few minutes ago in the camp there in Morocco. And so yesterday, the team actually held their first training section, and it was a very successful one. Quickly, let's look at some of the players that are in the team that have arrived the camp already. And there's some of the players we are expecting 2 players actually. First of all, the players in camp already. Victor Osimhen just arrived the camp a few minutes ago. Maduka Okoye, Daniel Akwe, Paul Onuachu, William Troost, Ekong Olaino, Kevin Akpoguma, Wilfred Ndidi, Jamilu Collins, Alex Iwobi, Chidera Ejuke, France Onyeka, Kelechi Iheanacho, Ahmed Musa, Chidozie Awazim, Samuel Chukwueze, Kenneth Omeru, Moses Simon, Sayud Sanusi, Shehu Abdullahi, Leon Balogu, Joe Aribo. These are the 22 players who are already in camp, and we are expecting the big return of Odion Jude Igalo and then John Noble. Yes, remember John Noble was just called in to replace one of the goalkeepers. Actually, he was just called in to make that substitute for Ozoho, who couldn't make it for the qualifiers. All right. Trust me, on the show I'll be giving you updates with regards to all of activities happening in the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria as they plan to take on the Leon Stars of Liberia on Saturday. All right, but then with regards to the training section yesterday, Super Eagles gaffer Genesro has this to say.
Your observations with this training, coach?
Yeah, we had 21 players, 2 goalkeepers. We're still missing 3 players who will come tomorrow. But it was a good training session. We already started in the hotel this morning with a good fitness to recover. And this afternoon we could see how it is here at 5 p.m., which is the time of the match on Saturday. So it was okay. We had a good feeling with the players. Some of them played 2 days ago and traveled, so we have to be careful for the injuries. But everything went well. They had a good shape, some good goals also. I saw we had some shooting exercises and then a game. Yeah, the week is starting well, which is good that we have wonderful conditions in Morocco to train, to prepare. And I hope that tomorrow everybody will be here. Normally tonight will arrive Osimhen, and tomorrow we'll have Igalo and Noble who replaces Uzoho, who cannot make it. So yeah, we hope that everything will go well without any injuries, and the match will be on Saturday afternoon in a good condition, also with this good weather and the wonderful pitch we have in this stadium in Tanger.
Thank you very much.
All right, that is coming from the Super Eagles coach, Gannett Raw. Yes, he said it was a good training yesterday evening, and the pitch condition was an excellent one. But then a quick one, he said there were 21 players. Remember, that interview was yesterday evening. And then this morning, an inclusion, Victor Osimhen just arrived the camp of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. All right. Before we leave the shores of Africa, let's talk about, he's still talking about football. If you remember, we want to talk about Super Eagles, former Super Eagles coach, late Stephen Keshi. Yes, I know, talking about Stephen Keshi, so many players, will be grateful to that man for the impact he had in their lives. And one of the players is Watford defender William Troost Ekong. He has said, expressed his sadness over the death of former coach of the Super Eagles, Stephen Keshi. He said that he will never forget late Super Eagles coach Stephen Keshi for the rest of his life. In an interview with Watford's YouTube page yesterday, he said Stephen Keshi is actually someone close to his heart, and that he would never forget Stephen Keshi, and that the impact Stephen Keshi made in his life. Remember, Stephen Keshi, when he played football, he was a central defender, and trust me, William Troost Ekong is also a central defender, and William Troost Ekong is trying to reflect on the impact Stephen Keshi had in his life. Remember, it was Stephen Keshi who brought him into the Super Eagles team. He made his debut under Stephen Keshi, and I'm not surprised, a lot of things he said yesterday with regards to the death of former Super Eagles player and coach, late Stephen Keshi. He said he feels indebted to him for the rest of his life, and feel like he doesn't have a chance to really say thank you to the lots of things he actually did for him. All right, away from that, let's go to athletics. Let's go to athletics, where some time ago I talked about Blessing Okugbere. Remember, a lot of issues, it hasn't been going the right way for the sprinter. A lot of bad one for him, for her, sorry, after the Tokyo Olympic Games, where she was banned by the Athletic Integrity Unit AIU over drug issues there in Tokyo. But then after that incident, the sister Grace came out to say that the Athletics Federation of Nigeria did abandon her sister, and somehow they were forcing her to agree to things that actually she never did. And with regards to that, the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, they are making clarity. Actually, an officials of them who spoke to the Guardian said that it is not true that Nigeria abandoned Okagbare as alleged by her sister Grace. He also went further to say that the Athletics Federation went contrary to the guidelines in Tokyo in their bid to show their solidarity and love for her. That even when the news of her suspension was broken, that the team quickly dispatched some top officials to her. They stayed with her in her room, consoling her. Some of them even stayed with her throughout the night, and some other things they said. That is coming from the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. But for me, I think they also need to do more. This case, I'm considering what Blessing has done for other country, Nigeria. I also expect more from the authorities to see that all with regards to this young lady, is being looked into. A lot of things coming out. Some time ago, I also dropped information about court cases there, ones that she lost, and so many other things. But trust me, as everything progresses, I'll be telling you all of them directly. Still talking about athletics, let's talk about the 26th edition of the Nigerian University Games, the NUGA Games. I mentioned some time ago that will be coming up by next year. And with regards to that, the local organizing committee, the OLAC, for that competition, they've said that over 10,000 athletes will compete when events begin at the University of Lagos in March next year. The Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Oluwatoyi, told journalists yesterday at the Senate Chamber of the university that a total of 136 universities will compete at the game, and he also revealed that mascots for the games will be unveiled on November 26, 2021. He also said that adequate security arrangements will be made by the institution and Lagos State government, stating that over 300 CCTV cameras will be installed on the campus there in Akoka, Yaba and Idiaraba, and that they will use the Nuga game to let the world know that Unilag is the first choice university in the world. Well, that is coming from them. He also urged all Nigerians and corporate organizations to rally around the LOC in its bid to stage the best Nuga games in 2022. He also mentioned that Unilag themselves, they will be teaming up with JAMB, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, to get names of eligible students so as to avoid the use of machineries by some desperate universities. All right, I think I've talked much about the local scene. Let's go straight to the foreign scene, where we want to start with the world of tennis quickly. Like I said before earlier on, while I did the introduction, I'll be starting with Emma Raducanu, who it was a disappointing one for her yesterday as she exited the Upper Austria Ladies Lanes at the hands of impressive Chinese qualifier Wang Qiong to bring the curtain down on her breakthrough season. Disappointing one for Emma recently, yes, after winning the US Open, and then since then it has been a lot of injury, and hasn't been a good one for her. But yesterday, a disappointing one for her as she lost in that event. Actually, she tried to see if she can recover during that match, but it was an impressive one for the Chinese counterpart, who defeated her by 6-1, 6-7, 7-5. That game ended yesterday. And still talking about Emma, she did make revelations. She has confirmed that she will work with 44-year-old German coach Torben Blinks in preparation for the 2022 season. Remember Torben Blinks, who happens to be the former coach of former world number one Angelique Kerber, and now this time around, remember Emma has have been without a coach for a long time now, and finally she is bringing in the German tactician Torben Blinks as her new coach. I think a good one for her. Wishing her all the best. 2021 for her is all over. All eyes are now set on 2022. Remember, the Australian Open is very much close. January 17. Yes, January 17 is the date for the Australian Open, and I'm very much sure these two will be working together to make sure Emma Raducanu gets back on track. Yes, gets back on track with what we know her for. But as it stands now, she still remains British number one. Let's go to the round leather game, the game of football, where we want to start with a young star as well. That is 24-year-old Marcus Rashford, who yesterday received an honorary award from Prince Philip for his successive campaign to get the British government to provide free meals to disadvantaged children during the pandemic. Yes, he was awarded an MB, that is a member of the Order of the British Empire, yesterday during a ceremony at Windsor. I think a good one for Marcus Rashford. Yesterday he said a lot of things, and he dedicated the award to his mother, having seen what his mother went through, to raise him up from childhood. And not just dedicating the award to his mom, he had this to say as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of work to be done. We're not nowhere near where we want to be, where I feel that the kids deserve to be. But we've just got to keep sticking at it and keep going. With setbacks, you're going to get them in any walk of life. So take it with a pinch of salt and just keep moving forward.
All right, that is coming from Marcus Rashford after that award yesterday, being awarded an MB. I think a good one for Marcus Rashford. That tells you what could come out of doing good. Yes, as footballers, not just footballers, as sportsmen, especially with the way things are going, what impact are you creating in the lives of people? All right, that is much we want to take. Before we go to the transfer rumors, let's look at this. The best FIFA football award ceremony has been confirmed to hold on January 17 next year. This is confirmed by the world's governing body FIFA yesterday. It will be screened from FIFA headquarters in Zurich as a visual event, according to statements coming from them. Remember, the pandemic is still on, and regards to that, we want to do it remotely. Out. The voting will begin by November 22nd to December 10, and so we expect to see a lot of things from that. But it's happy to know that it's definitely going to hold by January 17, 2022, but visually from FIFA's headquarters there in Zurich. All right, that is much I want to take from that. Let's go straight to the gossip side of football. But first, before we talk about the gossip side, let's take this quick one. Yesterday I was supposed to bring it up, but unfortunately I couldn't, and I think now is right time to bring it up. That is the move of Super Eagles goalkeeper Maduka Okoye moving from Sparta Rotterdam, moving from there to Watford in England. Yes, the move has been confirmed. I wanted to bring it up yesterday, but unfortunately I couldn't. But I think it is better late than never, right? And with regards to that, on his Instagram wall, he wrote, "Dear Spartans, my thanks are great. So many beautiful moments together. These are beautiful days for me. Making the move to the Premier League is a dream. At the same time, a part of me breaks. This club has settled in my heart. I read a lot of beautiful messages from supporters who are happy for me and from supporters who are going to miss me. I love you and your support, and I want to make it another 7 beautiful months with you and finish the season in the league nicely, and I will remain Spartan years after for life." Sparta, he wrote. Well, that is coming from Maduka Okoye. Remember, he is going to stay there at the club until the end of this the season before he completes that move. All right. I think I have seen a lot of reactions coming from that post. Already it's having over 5,000 likes and over 337 comments coming, and I'm very much sure the fans are wishing him all the best. All right, let's look at the rumors and see what we can make out of it before I wrap it up on Sports Update this morning. A lot of things to talk about in the rumors. Interested in signing Juventus and Wales midfielder Ramsey, while Manchester United are very much prepared to sign midfielder over January contract set to expire this season. Aston Villa pounds if the Premier League side decide to appoint Steven Gerrard as manager, while Newcastle's new manager Eddie Howe is targeting Atletico Madrid and England fullback Kieran Trippier, while Barcelona players are very much not happy with Barcelona midfielder Philippe Coutinho, accusing the 29-year-old of donning tools and rumors of potential move to Newcastle, while Leicester City manager Brendan Rodgers is the favourite to replace Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Manchester United. But while Manchester United are also hoping to beat Chelsea to sign 22-year-old French defender Jules Koundé from Sevilla, while Liverpool are interested in West Ham United's England winger Gerald Bowen, but will not make a move for him in January. Elsewhere, Newcastle also could also land French forward Ousmane Dembele on a free transfer if the winger refuses to sign a new contract with Barcelona. I think it has been a difficult one for Ousmane Dembele there at Barcelona. A lot of injuries since he arrived at the Camp Nou. While Barcelona too are prepared to offer Dembele a contract which is linked to how much time he can spend on the pitch. I think I just mentioned that now. And then let's look at more where Arsenal attempts to land 21-year-old Fiorentina striker Dusan Vlahovic have hit a stumbling block as a result of the Serbian player's agent refusing to hold talks. I heard he has refused picking his calls for some days now, and Arsenal are very much worried. I think it's a red flag there. Yes, for me it's a red flag. All right, let's take more. Okay, I think on that note I'll need to wrap it up. My time is up this morning. All right, thank you very much for joining us for Sports Update today. Join me same time